Hey, Successors, before we get into the show today, I'd like to tell you about my new book, Indulge Your Affirmative Motivation Within, 25 Motivations of Personal Development and Life Success. If you're struggling to stay motivated or just need a little boost, check out the ways that I've stayed motivated over the last few years. Go ahead and go over to Amazon.com and grab yourself a copy. That's Indulge Your Affirmative Motivation Within, 25 Motivations of Personal Development and Life Success. Get it now. On with the show.
Success. Media. Network.
This is your show.
Good day, Successors. I'm Antonio Holman, and welcome to the 4 Principles of Success, number 65, where I chat with successful people and entrepreneurs about how they enhance their businesses and lives in the areas of knowledge, health, wealth, and spirituality. And if you'd like to learn how I've stayed motivated throughout the years, check out my new book, Indulge Your Affirmative Motivation Within, 25 Motivations of Personal Development and Life Success, now on Amazon. Today, we're talking to Jack H.M. Wong. Jack is located in Singapore, is a serial entrepreneur, sales expert, business strategist, licensed neurolinguistic programming trainer, and the author of the Amazon best-selling book, Cracking the Entrepreneur Code, 7 Tips to Build the Business You Always Wanted. Jack has been featured on Fox, CBS News, ABC News, and NBC News with his mission to improve the quality of life of over 1 million worldwide, including employees who are stuck in the rat race by helping them realize that they can start any business using his 7 principles to gain money and time freedom. Jack, are you ready to help our listeners prepare for success?
Anytime. I'm ready. And thanks for having me on this show.
Oh, thank you for being here. Jack, let's get started. But we're going to get started with you filling us in on what your personal life is like.
Well, I'm a father of 3, and they are not babies anymore. And I've been married for 21 years. That is my family life. But my business life, I have left the corporate world in 2011, about 6 years ago. And after I've spent a total of 17 years in the corporate world, something happened in my corporate world's experience. And in May 2011, I decided to jump off the plane, stumble upon the world of entrepreneurship. I have never looked back since then.
What initially inspired you to advance down this path of helping entrepreneurs and business owners enhance their success and even help them get started to build their dream businesses?
Well, most people I am encountering in Singapore is a very traditional mindset, meaning that most of them are stuck in the employment quadrant. Basically, what happens is that when they are not happy with one job, because of their mindset, they will just naturally look for another job. So forever, they will be employees. For myself, I was like that in my 17 years of corporate experience because I did change job in 2004. Having said that, when I finished my 17 years experience, I have decided to leave the employment and come out of the corporate world. And I didn't realize lots of principles, which by now I know. So I wanted to help people who are facing my situation in 2011 so that I'm able to share with them the experience that I've gone through so that they won't repeat the mistakes I have made. And therefore, it will help them financially, emotionally, and mentally, in my opinion.
When you left the corporate world, what was your first entrepreneurial venture?
Well, I actually started naturally because I've been doing consulting and training in my corporate career. So the first move that I made was basically a consultant and also a trainer for my that's actually my first business.
What are the 3 simple moves people can make today to begin to create the business they've always wanted?
Well, the first move is basically the mindset, because having the right mindset, not the employee mindset, but the business owner mindset is a very important first move. The second move is basically to have what I would call the personal development. When I say personal development, it's not really about like time management and stuff like that. I'm talking about personal growth, because from my experience, what happens is that every single day, if I face challenge, I can have this voice in between my ears that can shut me down or prevent me from making the move that I have to make. So personal development basically is about how I get control of this voice in between my ears, so that I'm able to move on this journey. As you know, like the entrepreneurship journey is not a smooth ride. There will be ups and downs. So how am I able to move every single day to control this, I will call the literal voice. And finally, the next move is really be humble, be vulnerable. I like to use the word vulnerable because I have to say to myself every single day, I still have a lot to learn. And I acknowledge the fact that I still do not know a lot of things. So therefore, it helps me to realize that I have people around me who are expert in the field that I need to tap on, so that I can ask for help, make a request. So that's helped me to get more people on board as my team members, as well as help me scale my business to next level.
Yeah, I really like that last one as far as realizing your vulnerability, because a lot of times business owners don't realize you can't do everything, and you have to realize you are still human. You're not a superhero that does everything. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Some people become stifled even before beginning their businesses. What are the 3 most common mistakes people make that causes this?
Well, the first mistake is I like to use the word passion, because most people are stuck with the entrepreneurship journey by saying that, well, until I found my passion, I will not start my business. So basically, passion creates a business opportunity. That's what a lot of people are thinking. But having said that, from my experience, I actually said that passion is something they have within, so that essentially, if I'm able to help them uncover the passion within them, they will be able to start their business very easily. So it is a very interesting thing that I've seen from many people. They need to have the passion before they start a business, but the fact is that they have already got the passion within. It's very strange. Anyway, second thing is that people want to learn a lot of business and technical skills. Like I want to stumble upon the areas of sales or marketing, so I would naturally need help. So what I can do is I go for a list of courses available. Well, I've got course A, course B, course C, which all talk about sales, without realizing that at the end of the day, skills are important. But like I said earlier, the personal development part of the world is equally important. In fact, all my mentors are very big on personal development. And they said, if you can have personal development and business development at the same time, your business can explode and expand very easily. The last thing is sort of like mirroring what I've said earlier, is no coaches, no mentorship. They like to be so proud of themselves, knowing their special skill, and therefore they would spend their sweet time figuring out something which they really don't know. But you and I, Antonio, we have only 24 hours a day. I would like to tap on someone who knows the stuff, who knows the solution for an answer quickly in 2 to 3 minutes, instead of spending 20 hours times multiples just to figure out the answer by myself. So that's why coaching, mentorship are very important. And yet a lot of people think that coaching and mentorship cost them money, which in fact actually is helping them make money.
You know, that's one important thing that I've realized, that a lot of successful people, they actually have spent the money to get that personal coaching, which a lot of times it's really expensive, but they all have said it was worth it. It was very much worth it.
Exactly. Yes.
For those who may not know, tell us about your book, Cracking the Entrepreneur Code, and what inspired you to create it, and who was your target audience?
My target audience of Cracking the Entrepreneur Code essentially addressed people like me when I was in corporate world, around 30 years old. At that time, I had to make my move to leave the corporate world. But first 3 months after I left the corporate world, I was actually sitting in front of my computer, waiting for opportunities to come. And interestingly, most people would have said to me, well, you should have planned ahead before you left the corporate world. But the truth is I didn't plan. I just jumped out of the plane. So I do not want people to make the mistake like I had when I left the corporate world. So essentially, I want to help this group of people who are stuck with the rat race, and now they realize that it's time to get out. So that I give them the solutions, the steps, so that they would not repeat my mistake. Cracking the Entrepreneur Code, to summarize in a very, very simple way, represented my first 3 years journey as an entrepreneur. I have come up with 7 principles, which I've summarized in my book, to address different areas so that if a reader is able to tap on the 7 principles that I'm putting on my book, chances are they will be able to make it. And they will not have to go through the path that I had without making any mistakes. That's how I will put it.
So many entrepreneurs, they just like you said, they just jump out of the plane with no plan. Is that ever a good idea, or do you feel that it's always necessary to have some sort of plan?
Well, jumping out of the plane is the phrase that I use to tell people that because of the law of gravity, imagine you really jump out of the plane, there's actually no U-turn. So I like to use that phrase as a metaphor, so that people would think that, if I fail in my business, I can at least go back to the corporate world. But by saying jumping off the plane, there's literally no chance, no second chance. But having said that, I can choose to jump off the plane without parachute. And I hopefully will not land and die accordingly. Well, of course, chances are very, very high. Chances of that will be very high. Alternatively, what if I'm able to jump out of the plane, but with the parachute, with some people guiding me along so that I can land safely, securely, and I can jump off the plane again and again. So some people, like myself, I consider I'm a very fortunate one, where I didn't have the plan. I was able to survive, but I want people to understand I'm just lucky. So please jump off the plane with parachute to ensure you have a higher chance to survive. That's my strong opinion on that, honestly.
As we all know, life's full of ups and downs. It's like a giant roller coaster, and nothing's ever good all the time, never. Throughout your journey, what was that time in your life when you felt most unsuccessful?
I have very high hope that I will be able to get this contract. It's a 6-figure deal. The client, in the last conversation, the client said, well, thank you for that, but I've chosen another one. So that is a very big setback. I've done whatever I can, thinking that I'm able to get the job 99%, but the client eventually said no. Obviously, as a human being, I wasn't in the right mood for that. Most people would then say, oh my goodness, should I actually blame myself of not being good enough? Or what's wrong with me? So if that situation happens on me, yes, I do admit I have that voice coming. I do have, however, the ability to overcome that little voice so that I can get back my energy. And I would say if I didn't get this job, it only means that there's a bigger job, there's a bigger contract waiting for me. I do a lot of reframing for myself to overcome this down moment of my entrepreneurship life.
Yeah, that's important. You said a down moment. It is never just the complete time of life. It's just a moment. Yeah, it's a moment of growth, really. I like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
What was your most challenging client-related situation, and how did you resolve it?
I like clients to be really much value my service. In other words, I like to pitch high net worth individual or big companies for my consulting work so that I do not need to spend a lot of time talking about the fees. Is that I do have some clients who like to, for whatever reasons, treasure my service, and yet they want to spend time talking about the fee, which is not productive. So from my experience, I do like to work with people who values my service and never bargain or never compromise on my fee. That is the best moment. However, I will only say one thing. It is not a smooth ride to be able to get high-end clients. It takes time. So someone shouldn't expect that by the time I get to the entrepreneurship journey, I will easily land a 5-figure or 6-figure client immediately. That is called miracle. And that doesn't really happen every time.
What do you feel was one of the hardest things for you to overcome in your business that you've since conquered?
Hardest thing is that I still find that even though it is my 7th year in my entrepreneurship journey, I feel personally that I still have a lot that I don't know. I just talk about I just talked with someone about this word, gig economy, GIG economy, gig economy. It's like a word that perhaps most people, millennials, are very familiar with. For myself, I really don't know this word until beginning of last month. So that is just an example that the people out there are speaking the lingos which I am not able to like follow the trend. I still feel that there's so much I have to learn, so much I have to gain knowledge from. So that is why it's a very interesting journey on one hand, and yet I'm playing a catch-up game most of the time.
Yeah, I feel like most of us are playing a catch-up game because things move so quickly, especially technology changes everything so quickly.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What do you feel is your one biggest business triumph to date?
One biggest triumph is actually I landed a very interesting contract, and it was like the best moment of 2017 so far. That is, I was able to land a 6-figure contract in 60 seconds by knowing the CEO of these big companies in Singapore.
Wait. 60 seconds?
Yep, 60 seconds.
Wow.
Land a 6-figure contract because I know exactly what to say, how to say, when to say. I'm basically like saying and communicating at the right channel, because everybody has a certain communication channel. Like most people do not know this trick, and what happens is that they will pitch, they'll present, they'll spend a lot of time unnecessarily in order to close the sale. But for me, I was able to like crack the person's buying behavior. So in 60 seconds, the CEO actually said to me, yes, please continue with this contract. So yeah, 60 seconds. That was the most enjoyable moment. I hope that this inspires people. It is possible to do that, although it requires some sort of like work or development of skills. That can be done, however.
Wow, that's incredible. Your book, see, right there, your book has gained tons of credibility in my mind as far as helping people conduct business in that manner. That is incredible.
Thank you.
What do you feel is your one biggest personal triumph to date?
Personal triumph is that I still survive, even though it's already into my 7th year. Like most people, probably in the first 5 years, they will quit. They will go back to the corporate world as a safety net. Into my 7th year, I'm still out there. I have no moment of thinking going back. That is, from my personal development perspective, I was able to control the temptation. I mean, people ask me, do I have any moment of my last 6 years of thinking about going back to the corporate world? Yes, I do have that moment, because I'm just a normal human being. However, like I said, I have the ability to control my voice so that I say, yep, that moment, thank you very much for showing up, but I will still carry on my entrepreneurship journey. So the fact that I'm still surviving this entrepreneurship journey is, I will call the perseverance. I mean, this is a very key factor, and also determination. That's why I like to use the phrase jumping out of the plane. Instead of like I go out to venture into the corporate, the entrepreneurship world. So that gives me no chance of going back.
Hang tight, successors. We'll return to our conversation with Jack H.M. Wong, as well as quick success after a word from our sponsors. Are you a tense, tired, busy person who works day in and day out, who tends to lack the proper sleep and energy? Using modular supplements, health-related articles, recipes, life hacks, and more, Bellison can help. With quality as high as Bellison, you're buying from a company that cares about the environment and only uses premium vegan supplements. That's Bellison.com. Want to learn how to cook healthy, exercise, and meditate in just 30 minutes a day? Bellison.com. Want to feel healthy, energetic, and focused like me? Bellison.com. To receive a 10% discount at checkout. Whoa, hold on. Now receive even more health benefits with a 20% discount at checkout. Go to Bellison.com with the coupon code the4POS to get your 20% off now. Visit Bellison.com. That's Belisan.com. Compassion and quality without compromise. Bellison.com. Are you tired of trying every new diet fad? Sick of the pills, shakes, and vibrating belts? Are you just sick and tired of being sick and tired? Linda Lavender knows exactly how you feel. That's why she created Eat to Live to Love. Eat to Live to Love is a personalized mentoring program 100% unique to you. With 24/7 support, learn to shop smart, save money, eat clean, and find your purpose using the tools and resources you need to achieve real weight loss and transformative healing without ever having to buy another gimmicky fat-sucking wrap or magic protein shake. Eat to Live to Love has been the driving force behind people across the United States to not only change their lives, but to actually take back control. Find out how health coach Linda Lavender can help you become your own hero and transform your life at eattolivetolove.com or call 1-888-440-9795 for a free initial consultation. Stop just dreaming about success and make it happen with Eat to Live to Love. Visit eattolivetolove.com now. That's eat, the number 2, live, the number 2, love.com. Eat to Live to Love, healing, weight loss, and fitness. And we're back with entrepreneur and author Jack H.M. Wong. Now we get into the part of the show I like to call Quick Success, where you, Jack, can inspire the successors to enhance their lives in the areas of knowledge, health, wealth, and spirituality. Jack, what are you currently doing to enhance your knowledge?
I read, I write, and I actually watch videos. So basically, the world is full of information. So like I said, every single day, I have to learn a lot. I have to learn what I have to learn. So actually, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is to track what happened in the United States, what happened in Asia, so that I can stay tip-top with the current development of the business world, the financial economy. That's what I would do very first thing in the morning.
What are you currently doing to enhance your health?
My health, okay. I didn't do much right now because I actually injured my hand. Otherwise, I'm actually a black belt karate practitioner. I've been doing this in the last 7 years. Once a week, I would go back to the dojo, not just to train physically, but mentally. That's one part. And the other part is to also make my body move so that it can actually help me stay fit. I'm also diligent in terms of my eating plan. It's like lots of people have done studies about like having certain kinds of food will contribute to good health. For me, I'm very careful with what I'm taking. It's like the big thing that I avoid completely is what I call sugar, because sugar is manufactured. Sugar is actually the culprit of cancer. So I'm very mindful of no consumption or very low consumption of sugar. That is the first thing that I would do. Second thing is, Asians like to eat a lot of carbohydrates, like the rice, the noodles. Wherever possible at home, I stay off carbs. So that is another way of staying healthy. And my weight has been able to be controlled around 80 to 84 kilo, which is slightly above my optimal weight. But as compared to like good old days, 90 to 95, I consider myself quite okay.
What are you currently doing to enhance your wealth?
My wealth, okay. Proper money management. That's number one. So I actually have maintained a financial statements for myself so that, to be a bit more exaggerating, but that's the truth is, even though I had a meal which involves like buying a cup of coffee, which is $1 for example, I would track that in my spreadsheet and say that I have spend $1, so that every single day and every single week and every single month, of course, I know how much I've spent on particular areas so that I know my money management position and my financial position. That is very important. And secondly, I'm also an investor in the market. I've been exposed to the financial market in the United States for how long is that? Since 2004. So basically, I'm fortunate to have acquired certain skills of financial education so that I am able to have some regular money from the financial market. That's how I take charge of my finance.
What are you currently doing to enhance your spirituality?
So spirituality, I actually do, apart from like after I wake up, the first thing is I look at the news around the world. Second thing I would do is gratitude exercise. Gratitude exercise, most people talk about it, but my version is I have to list down, not just like say out loud or think about it, but I have to list down in writing the 10 things I'm grateful for. That's how I can grant myself before I actually start my day. So I do that every single day.
Are there any modern technologies or apps that you use to help you achieve success?
Well, there are many apps available, and there are, of course, lots of computer programs that are out there. I'm not a big fan of gigs or technology. Having said that, I do use my calendar. Like my calendar I use my online calendar. I actually use that because time is so precious. Time is so important for me. So whenever someone wants to book me for an appointment, even my wife will have to make an appointment on the calendar before we can go out together. So I deployed that very simple technology, online calendar, so that people know my schedule, my wife knows my schedule, and I know exactly what I have to do each and every day. And that is the very first app or software I would mention. Online calendar.
You know, that's very interesting that you said you have your wife schedule time with you. That's interesting. A lot of people would have a shocking reaction to that.
Really? Well, time is a very important resource. So if I respect my time, I do expect other people to give me the same treatment. Just like you, I have to book the appointment before I can get on the show, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
What new thing, book, activity, technology, or skill are you really excited to learn and dive into?
Well, essentially, I am a very big fan of book writing because Cracking the Entrepreneur Code is just one of my books. So I do have plans of like writing further books. In fact, I've already published 3 books right now. I'm always looking for some technologies that help me come up with the skeleton of the books faster, easier, so that I don't need to spend a lot of time thinking about how to structure the framework of a book. That would be fantastic. I'm still looking for that resource. If you can give me some suggestions, that would be great. Otherwise, I'll continue exploring that in the technology world.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get into script writing. And that's from what I hear, that's a totally different world.
Yep.
Jack, how can our listeners connect with you?
Sure. A couple of ways. Number one is that I do maintain a Facebook fan page, Jack H.M. Wong Official, where I post regularly on business lessons and videos there. Second thing is Cracking the Entrepreneur Code is actually available for downloading. If your listeners are interested, crackingentrepreneur.com. Key in the email address and they'll be able to obtain a downloadable copy of my book. And third thing, of course, is my website, jackhmwong.com, where I post some valuable contents there too for people who are interested in me to follow.
Finally, Jack, what's your definition of success?
Success, most people think success as a goal, as an achievement. I have long time learned and applied this definition. Success is a process. Making my move towards a goal each and every day and enjoy the dance. That is my definition of success.
Successors, I hope you've enjoyed my conversation with Jack H.M. Wong. Please check out more successful free content like this at the4pos.com, as well as rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for listening and prepare for success. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, Antonio.
If you want to do more, earn more, be more, and stay more motivated, visit Amazon.com right now for a copy of Indulge Your Affirmative Motivation Within, 25 Motivations of Personal Development and Life Success. Get it now at Amazon.com.